Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the incredibly complex 10-layered architecture of the human retina. You know, most of us just think of the eye as a simple biological camera, right? But as you're about to see, that tissue lining the back of your eye, it actually holds a deep, ancient secret about exactly where we come from.
Because the reality is, the retina isn't just some basic piece of tissue. It's an evolutionary mashup of two totally different biological systems. It's quite literally a biological chimera. And throughout this explainer, we're going to unravel exactly how and why that happened, pulling from both anatomical science and deep evolutionary history.
So, here's our roadmap. We'll start with the vertebrate eye mystery, break down those 10 retinal layers, explore rods, cones, and bipolars, look at the median eye solution, and finally, wrap up with protecting your complex vision.
Okay, let's jump right into part 1, the vertebrate eye mystery, and why it's such an evolutionary outlier. When we look across the tree of life, our eyes stand out in a major way. If you look at most animals, think insects or mollusks, they have simple rhabdomeric eyes positioned on the sides of their heads, and those are purely for vision. Then, totally separately, they have these unpigmented ciliary cells sitting right in the middle of their heads for non-visual tasks. But vertebrates, we do something completely unique. We literally smash these two entirely separate evolutionary lineages together into one single, multi-layered circuit.
You can see this clear divide throughout nature based on what these cells actually do. Ciliary cells are usually unpigmented, super ancient, and, well, kind of slow. They're traditionally used to track time, depth, or circadian rhythms from that median position in the brain. Rhabdomeric cells, on the other side, are fast, synaptically connected, and used for directional locomotion and actual image-forming vision on the sides of the head. We are the bizarre exception that just decided to wire them together.
Moving right along to Section 2, the 10 retinal layers and their microscopic architecture.
To really grasp how these ancient systems merged, we have to look at the microscopic architecture lining the back of our eyes today. There are 10 distinct layers, organized from the outside, nearest the choroid, all the way to the inside, nearest the vitreous gel. Med students actually use a really fun mnemonic to remember this. Really, Reds eat out often. Instead, I generally need ice cream. Honestly, it's the absolute best way to anchor this insanely complex structure in your memory.
Structurally, this whole setup builds across the retina in 3 distinct steps. First off, light gets converted into chemical energy right there in the outer layers. Next, it's passed into the middle synaptic layers. That's where the signal gets processed. And finally, all that data is bundled into the optic nerve in the inner layers, which shoots that final visual output straight to your brain.
Which brings us to Section 3, rods, cones, and bipolars, the true evolutionary chimera.
So we really need to zoom in on specific cells here, because this is where the mashup gets wild. In the second layer, the photoreceptor layer, we have our modern ciliary cells, rods and cones. Rods are the ones handling our low-light, scotopic peripheral vision. Cones, on the other hand, demand bright light to deliver that sharp, photopic color vision directly to the macula. And here's the crazy part. These highly specialized visual cells, they are the direct descendants of those ancient, non-visual circadian rhythm trackers we talked about earlier.
But honestly, the real heroes of this entire story are the bipolar cells hanging out in the inner nuclear layer. They act as the evolutionary bridge. They physically and chemically link our ancient ciliary photoreceptors to our rhabdomeric output neurons, the ganglion cells. Out in the broader animal kingdom, this kind of cross-wiring is just incredibly unusual.
When you look at the transcriptomic data for this, it's fascinating. Scientists mapped out the molecular signatures of these cells, and retinal bipolar cells sit smack dab in the middle of the map. They share traits with both the ciliary and rhabdomeric lineages. It completely proves they have dual evolutionary origins. They essentially act as the biological adapters that allowed these two ancient separate systems to finally talk to each other.
All right, Section 4, the median eye solution. Let's talk about reinventing the eye.
Because that brings up the ultimate question, right? Why go through the trouble of reinventing the eye in the first place? Well, it all comes down to ancient lifestyle changes. Millions of years ago, our early bilaterian ancestors actually had normal lateral eyes. But then, the ancestral deuterostomes evolved to become burrowing, sessile filter feeders. Basically, they were just sitting in the mud. So they lost their lateral eyes because they simply didn't need them anymore. Instead, they relied on a single, literal third eye right in the middle of their head just to detect light gradients coming from above.
Of course, evolution didn't just stop there. As these burrowing ancestors evolved back into active swimming predators, they suddenly needed vision again to hunt, but they'd already lost those original lateral eyes. So what happened? That complex median third eye actually split. The cups migrated out to the sides of the head, dragging both those ciliary and rhabdomeric cells along with it to form our modern layered retina. Talk about an evolutionary workaround.
And the definitive proof of this wild journey is actually still inside us. The modern pineal gland, located deep in our brains, which, is our evolutionary third eye, still shares this exact circuitry. In animals like lampreys and zebrafish, the pineal gland literally contains retina-like rods, cones, and ganglion cells. It completely confirms this shared chimeric legacy. Our lateral eyes are really just an extension of this ancient central structure.
Now let's wrap things up with Section 5, protecting your vision and those delicate layers.
Understanding this deep evolutionary history is fascinating, for sure, but it also explains exactly why our vision is so delicate today. Because the retina is this intricate 10-layer extension of the central nervous system, damage to specific microscopic layers causes highly distinct disorders. For instance, if eye pressure damages the inner nerve fiber layer, that's glaucoma, which leads to peripheral blind spots. But if dysfunction hits the outermost retinal pigment epithelium, that leads to macular degeneration and the loss of your central vision.
So, the huge takeaway here for your own health is this. You absolutely must consult an eye specialist if you experience sudden blurry vision, a shadow over your sight, or new flashes of light. This ancient biological circuitry is amazing, but it cannot repair itself once those neurons die. Early detection is the absolute only way to protect these delicate layers.
It completely changes how you view your own body, doesn't it? The very fact that you can watch this explainer right now is all thanks to a burrowing ancestor that lost its eyes, only to hack together a brand new pair using a circadian clock and some neural adapters. It's incredible. And it really leaves us to wonder, what other ancient, unbelievable secrets are hiding in plain sight within our own anatomy? Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll catch you next time.